Warriors, I thought when I started this movement, this passion of mine, this ministry, whatever you want to call it, Lynn's Warriors, I thought it would be so easy to get everybody on board. Why, after all, we're talking about protecting our precious children. We're talking about real-time safety, digital safety. I thought it would be a snap. Who wouldn't want to step up and protect our children? Well, warriors, I sure learned fast. After about my first year, I realized so much resistance, so much not wanting to get involved, so much not caring. Why? I ask why. I'm doing this for all of you. I am doing the work. I am doing the research. I am creating the take actions. I am in constant meetings with other coalitions, groups, organizations, law enforcement, faith-based organizations as well, to create some sort of intervention to prevent your child, your grandchild, your loved family member from falling victim to the number one crime in America right now, which is human trafficking. Now, remember, human trafficking has a definition of the use of force, fraud, or coercion to obtain a sexual act, goods, or services. So we talk about sex trafficking a lot, but it's forced labor, forced begging. As a matter of fact, right here in New York, I was just coming home, and West Side Highway, which is a highway here in New York, I constantly see, I don't know, they are covered in head to toe. They have masks on. They have baseball caps. They have hoodies. They wear all black, very petite. They could be 14. They could be 24. I repeatedly try to help. Nobody's interested. What happens is as cars hit the red light, they will jump out of the median and try to sell water bottles, fruit, candy bars. I call that, forced begging. I don't know for a fact, but nobody seems to care. I'm still working on it. They look young to me. You can't really tell. I'm telling you, you barely see two eyes because everything. Today, it's extremely hot. I don't know. With the humidity here in New York, I haven't checked. Maybe it's 90 degrees. I mean, after all, it is August, warriors, but covered head to toe in black. That, to me, is an indicator of something's not right. But I can't get anybody to take interest. Our elected officials in the neighborhood, our law enforcement, and they certainly don't want to talk to me. And they are afraid. Other countries, we have, child soldiers. That'll be the next step here in the United States. But I want to get back to, I never thought it would be this difficult for people turning a blind eye. I never thought it would be so difficult if I provide a take action. People wouldn't just automatically sign on because the work's done for you. And after all, it's protecting our kids. This predation is escalating before my eyes, before our eyes. And sure, a lot of people are talking about it and working on it. In the meantime, what is really trickling down? Very little, certainly not enough, to victims, to survivors. Where are we housing them? Where are we educating them? Where are we employing them? It is just a mess, warriors. Now we're facing back to school time. All of a sudden, I am getting a lot of notifications, back to school. Here in New York, we go back to school, the public school system, after Labor Day. I know a lot of states like Florida go back this month, and other states. I want us in 2022, this is a Lynn's Warriors Take Action, to really focus on our children's education. It doesn't take a lot, warriors, because I know you're busy and I know you're overwhelmed and things are heading downward. So this falls to the bottom of the list, this child predation. But that is exactly what the predators are counting on, that we are so overwhelmed. We are in the dark about facts, truths. We are in the dark about resources. I try so hard with the warriors to provide as many free resources as possible, because I know everybody with the economy and all else, free is best. So warriors, back to school. Some disturbing things. I'm very interested. I actually think I'm in favor of something China is doing. I don't talk about China too much. I used to prior to doing this work, because I was tracking in the entertainment business and seeing the deals being made and collaborations and all of that. And I would always say, China, 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 lather, rinse, repeat, China, China, China. I did it 10 years ago. I did it 5 years ago. And you know what? That's where we're at. But I will say this one thing I do like. In China, they do not allow their children to bring phones into the schools, into the classrooms. And I think here in the United States, we should actually think about that. And I don't want to hear it's about freedoms and all that. I don't want to hear that when I know how the predators are freely, reigning supreme in going after our kids and our vulnerable kids. And what child is not vulnerable? I receive on Instagram direct messages, strange names. We want to work with you. Oh, you look good. As a grown woman, aware of what's going on. Of course, you never answer any of these. What about the kids? A 12-year-old girl. Some guy, his profile picture looks like another boy. Says, oh, you look so beautiful. DM me back. It's as easy as that. And it begins. So maybe we should be like China. Maybe we should ban phones in schools. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can write to me, lynn@lynswarriors.org. Also, on this video, you can put your thoughts. I really would like to hear your thoughts, because I want to really start pushing in this direction. Now, whether we have to bring phones to schools and check them in boxes, like little lockers for phones, I don't know. We'll work it all out. Put them in little sacks somewhere during the school day to put away that distraction. Also, I look at everybody on the streets, the kids and stuff, constantly phones in their hands, constantly looking down, constantly walking in a group, but they're all on the phones at the same time. No true communication with each other, or very little. When we know by the age of 11 years old, most children have seen graphic pornography on their devices, age of 11, right? We know there's an addiction to the internet, to apps, to games, platforms. I talk to you constantly about the predation, so you know about that. We have a government that is not doing enough, will never do enough, and it's a runaway train. So I need each and every one of you to get on board. So let's start thinking about what we can do in our own homes and communities, at our own schools. Now, if you homeschool your child, you're in complete control. That's one situation. But the majority of people cannot do that, cannot afford to take the time away from their jobs, just can't do it. And I want us to think about, we talk about equity and inclusion, at least here in New York. I'm hearing it constantly. We don't really talk about that type of thing. Let's switch it up a little bit for our most vulnerable. Now, I agree, all children are vulnerable. But how about those really poor children, children of color, in sex trafficking? So the Black population, right, makes up about 13%. Things vary. Things are changing all the time. For argument's sake, let's just say about 13% of the American population. Yet in sex trafficking in the United States, it's well over 60% are girls and women of color. I venture to say it's higher, because none of these statistics they're lower, because people don't talk about things. People don't come forward. We don't really know. But even with saying above 60%, think about that. Who's really helping these communities? Who's really helping these girls and women? And boys too. We have boys and men. I feel like the boys are the forgotten ones. We need to talk more and more. Why are we allowing this predation? Why are we allowing our elected officials to skirt over it and not really talk about it. Right now in the Senate, waiting for final vote, we have the Kids Online Safety Act and the Children's Online Protection Privacy Act. Two things that you can urge your representatives to vote yes on. You can go to house.gov, senate.gov, see who represents you, and drop them an email. If you're brave enough, phone, you'll probably get a voicemail, but you know what? You leave a message because they count numbers. But I want to go back to, I thought I could get everybody on board. Every single day I approach schools, places of worship, community centers, a lot of outreach. And even they turn a blind eye. They don't even want to take free help, free speeches. But what are we going to do? Onward, because I am committed and you are committed. Always follow lenswarriors.org. We are going to protect our children. As we gear up and get ready for back to school, we are going to understand what they are learning, what these curriculums are. We are going to join school boards. We are going to go to school meetings and assemblies. We are going to become active participants because I am telling you, it is so bad with the kids right now. I don't know what could be next. So I want all of you, don't despair though, because this is the reality. These are facts, I'm telling you, truths. There's so many good things. You got me on your side and I am working and committed. And that is what I will be doing for the rest of my life, helping you, your children, your grandchildren, your loved family members, communities. Because if we help one child a day, then we have done our jobs. And with that, always follow lenswarriors.org. Please consider a donation. We are rolling out our education series in the fall. We also support survivors who are really getting the short end. All this money with taxes and new bills and this and that. You know, for instance, warriors, there's one fully accredited place to bring boys in the United States, a facility in Florida, fully accredited. There's some other places, but when we talk about fully accredited, and one in the entire United States, one. So we have work to do, and we will do it. Because each and every day, you, me, and everybody is a warrior. And I want to thank all of you who have been so kind, who have donated, who have been retweeting, have sharing, have subscribed to this channel, make worthwhile comments. But I want to leave you with, talk to your kids, communicate, talk to a neighbor. Today, I did my radio program, WVOX Warriors, and I had Genevieve Meyer on the program. Genevieve was married at the age of 15 to a 43-year-old child bride. She has a wonderful organization out in the Midwest, resiliencyfoundation.com. I'm urging all of you to look at that because she does outreach, helping survivors. She has formed with other women survivors who are married as children. This happened to her in 1995. And thank goodness, these brave women, they are few and far between, but they are building a coalition. They are building a tribe. And I'm on board to amplify their voices and help them in any way possible. Because do you know, warriors, 43 states still allow child marriage? 7 states have banned it. Massachusetts becoming the most recent last week. And we applaud Governor Charlie Baker. We also applaud the states of New York, New Jersey, Delaware, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, and Minnesota for banning child marriage, because every state has different laws about this. We want 18, no exceptions. Seems reasonable, right? 18. Because there are so many loopholes. A child cannot enter into a contract, a minor. But think about this. It's actually human trafficking. A grown male adult raping a child. Think about this. And we allow it in 43 states. So we need each and every one of you to get on board with contacting your legislators. I actually think the best thing you can do, I have two recommendations. Go to resiliencyfoundation.com, Genevieve Myers Foundation, and find out how you can help, how you can sign on, how you can be supportive. And we also have Global Hope 365, our good friend Rima Nashashibi out in California, working so hard with her coalition. She has a letter writing campaign. She's based in California, but there's a link there. Here's who you contact in your state. Do it. It's free. It takes a couple of minutes because we need to ban child marriage. It is human trafficking. It is the rape of our children. No child should be married to an adult man. So again, warriors, we have work to do, and we will. But I want to thank you for all you do and all you give me and us, because you give me the power to go on. There are days I wake up. Actually, today was one of them. And I thought, I'm part of different groups, and a group within Washington. I had some information sent to me. And I thought, these predators win. They're winning every single day. Why aren't people out in the streets screaming? Why? Why am I so taken with, we have to have justice, we have to protect survivors, children, victims? I talk about children a lot, but I know a lot of women, survivors, victims, currently, prostituted people. It's ugly. It's dark. We know that. Who wants to talk about that? But we have to, because the warriors, we don't want your child next. We don't want your family to have to face any of this. And remember, it's happening in your home on all of the devices. So as we head back to school, think about what devices you're giving your child before you buy that new device or upgrade or whatever. Talk to your child. I want to hear, should we have phones? Should they be allowed in schools? I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear from you, because after all, you're all warriors.